Hey there, guys. Coach Harris. We got 5-minute math going on again in the driveway. It's election day. If you're old enough, hopefully you went out there and voted. Either way, never mind. No more politics. Today we're going to talk about adjacent, vertical, and linear angles. Okay, we're going to get into a little bit of geometry. So hopefully this helps out some of you guys who are either in college math class, or maybe you're in integrated 1, integrated 2. You're getting into some geometry stuff, or even on the ACT or the SAT. So hopefully this helps you guys out. So a little bit about angles, first of all. First of all, we need to understand that angles are formed by two rays that are connected together with a common vertex. All right, here's a ray, has an endpoint on one, ongoing on the other. All right, we have a vertex right here, and then there's another ray right here. So that's going to be an angle, okay? So what are adjacent angles? Well, let's take a look at this. I'm going to form three angles here. I got angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. Adjacent means next to. Okay, think about it like this. It'd be like the next door neighbor of angles. So an example would be this. All right, angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. All right, angle 2 and angle 3 are adjacent. Angle 1 and angle 3 are not adjacent. Okay, so those are not adjacent. That's kind of a decent little example right there to let you know what's going on there. Okay, so again, this is a beginning example of what we have whenever we have an angle. We have a vertex connecting two rays. This is an example of adjacent angles. 1 and 2 are adjacent, 2 and 3 are adjacent, 1 and 3 are not adjacent. All right, let's look at vertical angles. Here's a little concept going on right here. I got two lines that intersect. All right, they form 4 angles. Angles 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. Okay, vertical angles are angles that are across from one another. Okay, so for instance, angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical. Okay, also angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical. Little concept here about vertical angles. Remember this, vertical angles are always congruent. What does congruent mean? It means they have the same measure, okay? So if angle 2 is 70 degrees, then angle 4 is going to be 70 degrees as well. Angle 1 would be 110, and then angle 3 would be 110 as well. Okay, well, where did I get the concept of 110 and 70 and everything like that? First of all, I'm assuming the 70, but that then leads into the concept of linear angles. Linear angles. So let's go back and let's revisit this right here. Oh, it's kind of cold out here. It's not going to let me erase this just quite right. So I'll go down here a little bit. So linear angles are two or more angles that form a line. So for instance, I've got angle 1 right here, angle 2 right there. Well, check it out. When I combine the two of them, they form a line. Well, kind of interesting concept within linear angles is this. If you were to take a line, all right, let's go back to something we all understand. A circle has 360 degrees in it. Okay, if I were to take a line through the center of that circle, a diameter if you would, okay, then we're going to take that full 360 and we're going to cut it in half to 180 degrees here, 180 degrees there. So with that concept, we now know and understand that all linear angles combine together to be 180 degrees because a line is 180 degrees. So for instance, a pretty deep geometric thought here is I could take the measure of 1, all right, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2, they have to equal 180 degrees because they form a line. So within the concept of linear angles, we have this. All linear angles combine together or add together to equal 180 degrees, or they form a line. Now, could we say that 1, 2, and 3 are linear? Yeah, we could because they still form a line. Now, within that concept, how could we use this? I've got angle 1. Let's say it's 120 degrees. And then the question would be, what's the measure of angle 2? I would take 180, subtract 120, and I would get 60. That's kind of what I did over here when I said, well, if 2 is 70, then 1 would have to equal 110. 180 minus 70 equals 110 because they do form a line. So 1 and 2 are linear, 3 and 4 are linear, 2 and 3 are linear, 1 and 4 are linear. So we see that these concepts within angles are very, very, very interrelated. So hopefully this helps you out. We just did a little bit of work on adjacent angles. We talked about vertical angles. We talked about linear angles. We got to see what examples of adjacent angles, examples of linear angles. And so anyway, hopefully that helps you out. It's been 5 Minute Math, Coach Harris.